98% of you are not subscribed. Enter and subscribe because at the amount of 1,000 subscribers, I will post a very special video for you.
The stirring of stars. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, galaxies swirled like cosmic petals in an endless dark garden. Among these celestial formations, one star burned with an unordinary intensity, its light flickering ominously as if signaling the dawn of something unprecedented. This was the star known as Erythra, a beacon in the uncharted quadrants of the Millicon galaxy. Erythra was not known to the broader universe. Its planets and moons were enshrouded in mystery, untouched and unseen by the prying eyes of other civilizations. However, one fateful day, a breach in the fabric of space-time sent ripples across the galaxy, catching the attention of the far-reaching human explorers from Earth. Earth's desperate mission. Back on Earth, the situation was dire. Humanity faced multiple global crises, depleting resources, environmental disasters, and a population teetering on the brink of collapse. In their desperation, they turned their eyes to the stars, seeking salvation beyond their withering planet. Project Salvation was conceived. An ambitious plan to find and colonize new worlds capable of supporting human life. Commander Elena Mirov, a seasoned astronaut with a reputation for tackling impossible missions, was chosen to lead the exploration team. Her crew aboard the starship Artemis was a blend of scientists, engineers, and security personnel, all handpicked for their expertise and their willingness to venture into the unknown. The journey through the wormhole. The journey began with the discovery of the anomaly near Erythra, a wormhole flickering like a mirage in space. It was a rare phenomenon, one that could potentially bridge vast cosmic distances in a matter of seconds. With caution thrown to the wind under the heavy mantle of desperation, the Artemis was directed to enter the wormhole. The transit was turbulent, a violent shudder through the very bones of the universe. The crew of the Artemis braced as reality bent around them, a spectacle of cosmic lights and unknown energies swirling outside their vessel. When they emerged, the starship was orbiting Erythra, the star shining like a beacon before them. The discovery of Erythra 5. Erythra's system was a tapestry of celestial wonders, with multiple planets orbiting the luminous star. The fifth planet, Erythra 5, appeared particularly promising. It boasted vast oceans and sprawling continents visible even from space. Its atmosphere, rich in oxygen and other gases, hinted at the possibility of life. As the Artemis descended into the orbit of Erythra 5, sensors picked up astonishing readings. Signs of advanced technology and an energy signature that did not match any known natural source. It was an unprecedented discovery, evidence of a civilization that perhaps still thrived in secrecy. First contact. The decision to land was made swiftly. Commander Mirov and her team suited up, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. They touched down on a verdant plain, near the edge of a great forest that stretched towards towering mountains in the distance. Their first encounter with the inhabitants of Erythra 5 was unexpected. A group of beings, markedly different from humans in appearance with their translucent skin and elongated limbs, approached cautiously. These beings communicated through a series of luminescent pulses emitted from their bodies, a language of light. The proposal. The aliens, who called themselves the Vanix, were initially wary, but grew more communicative as the humans used technology to translate the light pulses. They spoke of their world's history, of cosmic calamities survived, and a civilization that had learned to harness the energy of their star. In a gesture of unexpected generosity, or perhaps necessity, the Vanix made an offer. They needed help from the humans, a collaboration born of shared desperation. Their planet was dying, slowly poisoned by the very technology that had once been their salvation. Commander Mirov faced a choice. Here, on this alien world, was the chance not only to save her own people, but to aid another race in their survival. It was a daunting responsibility, a test of humanity's capability for empathy and cooperation across the stars. As the sun of Erythra set behind the mountains, casting long shadows over the meeting, a new chapter in human history began to unfold. One filled with uncertainty, but also brimming with hope. The Pact of Shadows and Light. The agreement struck under the fading light of Erythra's sun marked a new alliance, a bond between Earth and Erythra 5, the homeworld of the Vanix. Commander Elena Mirov and her crew, now ambassadors of humanity, faced the monumental task of understanding a civilization far removed from human experiences and technologies, learning from the Vanics. The Vanics were an ancient species, their evolution deeply intertwined with the cosmic energies emitted by their star. They had developed technologies that could manipulate these energies, using them to power their cities, heal their sick, and even alter environmental conditions. But such power came with dire consequences. Their planet's core was destabilizing, threatening catastrophic failures that could end all life on Erythra 5. In the weeks following the first contact, the humans were invited to the capital city of Luminara, a metropolis built around a towering spire that glowed with a pulsing light, the heart of their civilization. The city was a marvel of bioluminescent architecture, structures that seemed alive, glowing softly in the night. Elena and her team spent their days in intense exchanges, learning the Vanics language of light with the aid of technology and discussing potential solutions to the planetary crisis. The crew's engineers and scientists collaborated closely with Vanics experts, delving into alien technology that was both fascinating and daunting in its complexity. A planet in peril. However, as they learned more about the planet and its technology, the scope of the challenge became clear. The Vanics' reliance on their star's energy had created a feedback loop that accelerated the decay of their planet's core. They needed a solution that could reverse the damage without depriving them of their primary energy source. Dr. Liam Sun, the chief scientist of the Artemis, proposed a daring plan: to create a controlled black hole that could absorb excess energy and stabilize the core temporarily. It was theoretical, risky, and would require precise execution, but it presented a real chance to save Erythra 5. The shadows of doubt. Despite the hope that the new alliance and proposed solutions brought, not all members of the Vanics were convinced. A faction within the Vanics, led by a charismatic yet enigmatic figure named Xerax, voiced strong opposition. They viewed the human intervention as a threat to their way of life and feared that tampering with cosmic forces could bring even greater calamities. Xerax and his followers, known as the Shadow Caste, began staging protests, calling for the cessation of the project. They argued that the Vanics should accept their fate or find solutions within their own ancient wisdom, not through alien technologies or risky cosmic experiments. A test of unity. The situation grew tense, with the Shadow Caste's activities becoming more disruptive. Incidents of sabotage were reported around Luminara, targeting facilities crucial to the Stabilization project. Commander Mirov realized that achieving a technological solution was only part of the battle. They also needed to win the trust and consensus of the Vanics population. In an attempt to bridge the growing divide, Elena proposed a joint council comprising leaders from both humans and Vanics, including representatives from the Shadow Caste. The council would oversee the project and ensure that all voices were heard, aiming to foster a deeper understanding and unity among the disparate groups. The gathering storm. As the Artemis team worked against time and rising tensions, dark clouds gathered over the spires of Luminara. The energy imbalance was reaching critical levels, and the planet's atmospheric anomalies began to worsen, manifesting as violent storms and seismic activities. Beneath the luminescent sky, amidst the glow of bioluminescent structures and the shadowy descent, the fate of two civilizations hung delicately in balance. The upcoming council meeting promised to be the crucible in which the future of Erythra 5 would be forged, for better or worse, convening amidst crisis. The Grand Council Hall in Luminara was a sight to behold, its walls adorned with carvings that told the history of the Vanics, a series of victories and losses, of cosmic alignments and misalignments, painted in the radiant hues of their bioluminescent art. As representatives from both the human crew and the Vanics factions gathered, the air was thick with tension and the weight of impending decisions. Commander Elena Mirov, alongside Dr. Liam Sun, represented the human delegation with solemn determination. Facing them across the circular table were the luminous figures of the Vanics elders and, notably, Xerax and his Shadow Caste, their features marked by darker, almost absorbing tones that seemed to swallow light. Dialogue of Divergence. The session opened with Oliara, the High Elder of the Vanics, who spoke in glowing pulses, translated into human speech through devices developed by the Artemis engineers. "We stand at the precipice," she began, her voice resonant in the hall. "Our survival is entwined with the choices made within these walls. Let us proceed with wisdom and courage. Xerax, however, was quick to counter, his light flickering with intensity. This wisdom must not be borrowed from strangers whose arrival coincides with our planet's darkest hour. We must rely on our own ancient knowledge, not on dangerous experiments that could further destabilize our world. Dr. Sun presented the scientific basis of their plan, detailing how a controlled black hole could potentially balance the planetary core's energies. Diagrams and models lit up around the room, illustrating the phases of implementation and the safeguards involved. A compromise proposed. As the debate raged, with the shadow cast expressing their fears of unforeseen consequences, Elena realized that a purely technical solution might not suffice to bridge the gap. A compromise was necessary, a combination of Vanek's traditional methods and human technological innovation. I propose an integrated approach, Elena said, standing to capture the Council's full attention. Let us combine our efforts. We will use your knowledge of cosmic energies to guide our technology, creating a solution that respects both our capabilities and limitations. This proposal sparked a new round of discussions, quieter and more thoughtful. The idea of integrating Vanek's traditional energy harnessing methods with human technological applications offered a middle ground, reducing the perceived intrusion of alien methods into sacred Vanek's practices. The Test of Unity. As the Council deliberated, the planet's condition worsened outside the hall. Storms raged fiercer, and seismic tremors shook the city, reminders of the urgency of their task. It was during one such tremor that the hall itself swayed, lights flickering wildly. In that moment of shared vulnerability, the divisions seemed less significant. Finally, a consensus emerged. The Council agreed to a trial of the integrated approach, a project that would be closely monitored and adjusted as needed. Xerax, still skeptical but outnumbered, conceded, "We will see if your light can blend with our shadows." A fragile alliance forged. With the agreement sealed, teams were formed, combining Vanek's and human experts. The project was to be launched from the High Energy Array, a complex near the planet's equator known for its stable energy flows. Here, the first phase of the experimental solution would be tested under the watchful eyes of both communities. As the Artemis crew and their Vanek's counterparts prepared for what was to come, a sense of cautious optimism filled the air. They had found common ground, not just in science, but in the shared understanding of each other's fears and hopes. Preparation for the unknown. As preparations for the experimental phase went underway, Elena couldn't shake off a lingering concern. The planet's reactions to their efforts were unpredictable, and the Shadowcast's warnings echoed in her mind. Yet, the path forward required not just scientific acumen, but a leap of faith. A leap into the unknown, guided by the newly forged alliance under the luminescent skies of Erythra 5, the High Energy Array. Under the early morning sky, tinged with the purples and greens unique to Erythra 5, the combined team of Vanek's and human experts gathered at the High Energy Array. The facility was positioned on a vast plain, chosen for its direct exposure to the star's energies and minimal geological disturbances. Here, the experimental phase of the Stabilization project was about to commence. Commander Elena Mirov oversaw the final preparations, her focus unwavering despite the enormity of the task ahead. Beside her, Dr. Liam Sun checked the array of instruments that would monitor every aspect of the experiment, from energy fluctuations to planetary responses. The integration of traditions. The Vanek's experts, led by a wise elder named Sareth, began the ritualistic calibration of the array. They employed ancient techniques that involved harmonizing the array's technology with the natural energy flows of the planet, a practice unknown to human science until now. This process was both a scientific procedure and a spiritual communion, reflecting the Vanek's belief in the unity of technology and nature. As the calibration progressed, Elena and her team integrated their technology, a compact, artificially created black hole encapsulated within a containment field, designed to absorb excess planetary energy and stabilize the core. The device was the culmination of human ingenuity and desperation, a testament to their will to survive and aid a newfound ally. The moment of truth. With the preparations complete, the moment to initiate the experiment arrived. A hushed anticipation fell over the array as Sareth gave the signal to proceed. Dr. Sun activated the device, and immediately a deep hum filled the air, a sound that seemed to resonate with the very soul of the planet. The initial readings were promising. The artificial black hole functioned within expected parameters, drawing off the excess energy without any signs of instability. For a brief moment, a collective sigh of relief passed through the team. Unexpected anomalies. However, the calm was short-lived. Soon after the initiation, the array's sensors detected unusual energy surges from the planet's core. The black hole, designed to handle steady energy flows, began to fluctuate wildly in response to these surges. Elena and Dr. Sun worked feverishly with the Vanix technicians to adjust the containment protocols. Despite their efforts, the surges grew more violent, causing tremors that shook the ground beneath them. The sky above turned dark, as if the planet itself was reacting to the intrusion. Crisis management. In the midst of the chaos, Xerax and his followers appeared at the array. Expecting condemnation, Elena was surprised when Xerax offered to help, suggesting a modification to the array using a Vanix technique that could potentially diffuse the surges through a wider spectrum, thereby easing the pressure on the black hole. Working together, the teams implemented Xerax's suggestions. Gradually, the energy fluctuations began to stabilize, and the tremors subsided. The crisis seemed to be averted, but the incident left everyone on edge, aware of the fragile balance they were dealing with. Reflections and resolutions. In the aftermath of the crisis, the Council reconvened. The events at the array had proven that while the combined approach held potential, it also required careful consideration and perhaps a slower, more measured implementation. Elena spoke at the Council, her voice steady but filled with resolve. Today, we faced the brink together and pulled back, not as humans or Vanix, but as united beings striving for survival. Let us move forward with this unity, mindful of the lessons we've learned. The Council agreed to continue the project, but with increased oversight and slower escalation of the black hole's activation. They also decided to expand the role of the Shadowcast, integrating their perspectives more fully into the project's planning stages. A new dawn. As the meeting ended, Elena stood looking out over the array, watching the first light of dawn break over the horizon. The road ahead was uncertain, yet filled with potential. For the first time since arriving on Erythra 5, she felt a real hope not just for survival, but for a flourishing future, shared between two peoples once divided by light and shadow. A delicate balance. In the wake of the near disaster at the high-energy array, the revised approach to the Stabilization project was one of cautious progression. The facility had become a symbol of collaboration and a testbed for the fusion of human and Vanix technologies. The teams, now more integrated than ever, approached each challenge with a unified front, drawing from both the ancient wisdom of the Vanix and the innovative spirit of the humans. Deepening Bonds. Commander Elena Mirov found herself more immersed in the culture and philosophies of the Vanix. Her daily interactions with Sereth and even the initially reticent Xerax deepened her understanding and respect for this alien species. They shared long conversations under the stars of Erythra 5, discussing not only the project, but also the nature of existence and the universe's many mysteries. As trust grew, Xerax revealed more about the Shadowcast's perspective. "Our resistance was not to you, but to the fear of losing our essence," he confessed one evening. "Seeing you work alongside us, respecting our ways while contributing your own, has shown me that perhaps our essence can evolve without being lost." Technological synergy. Back at the array, Dr. Liam Sun and his team, alongside Vanix engineers, made significant modifications to the energy containment system. They introduced a series of Vanix-designed energy diffusers that could distribute the absorbed energy across a wider field, thereby minimizing the risk of another surge. This system was augmented with human-made energy converters that could harness and repurpose this energy for the planet's benefit. Signs of stabilization. Months passed, and the data began to show promising signs. The planet's core was gradually stabilizing, the seismic activity decreasing, and the atmospheric disturbances settling. However, the success of the project hinged on a final, critical phase, safely deactivating the artificial black hole before it became too stable and uncontrollable. The planning for this phase was meticulous, with simulations running continuously to forecast every possible outcome. Elena and the team knew that the margin for error was slim, and the consequences of failure were catastrophic. Cultural exchange. Amidst the intense focus on the project, a cultural exchange developed between the humans and the Vanix. The Artemis crew learned the art of Vanix light communication, which involved not just the exchange of information, but also emotions and deeper connections. In return, the humans introduced the Vanix to aspects of Earth culture, including music and literature, which the Vanix absorbed with keen interest. This exchange enriched the bonds between the two species, creating a shared culture that began to transcend their differences. It was during one such cultural night that Elena received a message from Earth, a reminder of the world she had left behind, which was watching and waiting for news of the project's outcome. The final test. The day arrived for the final phase of the stabilization project. The entire team gathered at the array, aware of the historic and perilous task ahead. The procedure involved gradually scaling down the black hole's energy absorption, while simultaneously activating a series of planetary shields that the Vanix had designed to protect the core's integrity. As the process began, every monitor, every sensor was scrutinized. The black hole's containment field flickered under the decreasing energy load, a visual pulse that matched the anxious beats of every heart present. A moment suspended. The final moments were tense, the facility silent except for the humming of the array and the soft glow of the bioluminescent lights. Then, slowly, the readings confirmed that the energy levels were normalizing, the black hole's influence waning without incident. Cheers erupted throughout the array, a celebration of technology and teamwork, of shared risks and mutual triumphs. Elena, her face illuminated by the glow of success, knew that this was more than a scientific victory. It was a testament to the potential for unity in diversity, for finding common ground in the vast cosmos. Looking forward. As peace settled over Erythra 5, plans were made for the future. The Vanix proposed a permanent alliance with humanity, inviting the Artemis crew to establish a joint colony on the planet. This new settlement would serve as a beacon of interstellar cooperation and a shared home for both species. Elena looked out over the landscape of Erythra 5, its skies now calm, its future bright with promise. They had come to this world as explorers and found more than a new home. They had discovered new family, a new dawn. The stabilization of Erythra 5's core marked a historic achievement, not just for the inhabitants of the planet, but also as a precedent for interstellar cooperation. As the news of their success reached Earth, it ignited hope in the hearts of those who had been watching with bated breath, desperate for a sign that humanity could find a new lease on life beyond their depleted home. Foundation of the Interstellar Alliance. With the planet now stable and the immediate crises averted, discussions about the future took a more concrete shape. The Vanix and humans, represented by Commander Elena Mirov and the High Elder Oliara, signed the Treaty of Luminara, officially establishing the Interstellar Alliance. This treaty was not merely a pact of survival, but a declaration of shared vision and mutual development. Expansion of the colony. The joint colony, named New Horizon, quickly became a hub of activity. Architects and planners from Earth mingled with Vanix artisans to design living spaces that blended human architecture with Vanix bioluminescent aesthetics. These structures were designed to be more than functional. They were a celebration of their combined cultures, a symbol of their intertwined destinies. Technological and cultural renaissance. The success at Erythra 5 spurred a renaissance of sorts. Innovations in energy technology, ecological restoration, and space travel were shared freely between the allies. The Earth benefited enormously from Vanix technologies, which helped alleviate some of the environmental strains back home. In turn, humans introduced the Vanix to various technological advancements in computing and artificial intelligence, areas where the Vanix had less development due to their focus on cosmic energy-based technologies. This exchange boosted the Vanix's technological landscape, propelling them into new areas of invention and discovery. The Academy of Cosmic Sciences. One of the most significant joint ventures was the establishment of the Academy of Cosmic Sciences, located within New Horizon. Here, the brightest minds from both species collaborated on research and education, exploring the vast unknowns of the universe. The Academy became a beacon of knowledge, attracting scholars and scientists from across the galaxy. Challenges and adaptations. As the colony grew, so did the challenges. Integrating two distinct ways of life was not without its conflicts. Differences in life cycles, dietary needs, and social customs required adjustments and compromises. However, these challenges were met with a spirit of openness and a willingness to adapt, qualities that both humans and Vanix had demonstrated throughout their partnership. A cosmic celebration. A year after the treaty, New Horizon hosted the Festival of Lights, a celebration marking the anniversary of the planet's stabilization. The festival blended human cultural elements like music and dance with Vanix traditions of light shows and energy play. It was a spectacle of unity and joy, symbolizing the harmonious coexistence they had achieved. Looking to the future. As Elena watched the celebrations, her thoughts drifted to the future. The success on Erythra 5 was just the beginning. The universe was vast, and there were more worlds to explore, more civilizations to meet, and more alliances to form. The Interstellar Alliance had opened the door to a new era of exploration and cooperation. A quiet reflection. Later that night, as the last of the lights dimmed and the music faded into the gentle hum of the night, Elena stood alone, looking up at the stars. They seemed different now, not just distant points of light, but potential homes, new beginnings, and uncharted stories waiting to be told. This chapter not only celebrates the achievements and the unity achieved, but also sets the stage for further cosmic adventures. Let me know if you would like to continue the narrative or focus on any specific elements for development. A mysterious signal. As the Festival of Lights drew to a close and the inhabitants of New Horizons settled into their routine, a faint but persistent signal was detected by the Academy of Cosmic Sciences. The signal, seemingly a distress call, was traced to the outer reaches of the Millicon Galaxy, a region unexplored even by the Vanix. Commander Elena Mirov, always at the forefront of adventure, convened a meeting with the Academy's top minds and the Vanix leaders. The decision to investigate was unanimous, driven by a mix of altruism and curiosity. The Artemis, refitted and ready for deep space travel, was prepared for the journey, with a crew composed of both human and Vanix scientists and explorers. Into the unknown. The journey to the source of the signal was filled with anticipation and apprehension. As they ventured deeper into unknown space, the stars seemed to whisper secrets of the cosmos, each one a silent observer of the vast universe's mysteries. Upon reaching the coordinates of the signal, the crew discovered an ancient derelict spacecraft orbiting a seemingly dead planet. The ship appeared to be centuries old, its hull battered by cosmic storms and radiation. The design was unfamiliar, neither human nor Vanix, suggesting the presence of another spacefaring civilization. Aboard the ghost ship, a team led by Elena boarded the derelict. Inside, they found a ship seemingly frozen in time, its corridors filled with the echoes of its last moments. The onboard systems were largely inoperative, but enough residual power remained to access the ship's last recorded logs. The logs revealed that the ship was from a civilization called the Zel-Thori, a people who had ventured into space in search of a new home after their planet had become uninhabitable. The cause of their distress was a mysterious entity they referred to only as the Shadow that had stowed away aboard their ship, wreaking havoc and eventually leading to their demise. The Shadow unveiled. As they delved deeper into the ship, the Artemis crew encountered a sealed chamber. Inside, they found the remains of what appeared to be the Shadow. It was unlike any life form documented before, ethereal, almost incorporeal, with remnants that suggested it was made of a dark, smoke-like substance. Dr. Liam's son hypothesized that the Shadow might be a form of dark energy life, capable of absorbing energy from its surroundings. This discovery posed new questions about the nature of life in the universe and the potential dangers of deep space exploration. Return to New Horizon. With the remnants of the Shadow secured and the Zel-Thori ship's logs archived, the Artemis returned to New Horizon. The findings were both exciting and sobering, highlighting the vast unknowns that still lay beyond the explored universe. The Zel-Thori's fate was a stark reminder of the perils that could lurk in the cosmos, and it sparked a new level of caution in the interstellar community. Discussions ensued about the need for protocols to handle encounters with unknown life forms and the potential existential threats they could pose. A new resolve. Despite the risks, the spirit of exploration remained undimmed. The Academy of Cosmic Sciences began developing a new branch of study focused on dark energy life forms, spearheaded by Dr. Sun. This initiative aimed not only to understand these entities, but also to prepare for any future encounters. Elena, reflecting on the mission, felt a renewed sense of purpose. The universe was more mysterious and complex than she had ever imagined, and she was determined to explore its depths, safeguarding the Alliance's new home while reaching out to the stars with a spirit of curiosity and vigilance. Staring into the abyss. As night fell over New Horizon, Elena stood gazing at the stars, aware that each point of light might harbor unseen dangers, but also unimaginable wonders. The universe called to her, a siren song of the unknown, and she answered with a heart ready for whatever mysteries awaited, revelations and research. Back at New Horizon, the aftermath of the discovery aboard the Zelthori spacecraft ushered in a wave of both fascination and fear. The existence of a life form based on dark energy challenged existing scientific paradigms and hinted at the vast, unexplored complexities of the universe. Dr. Liam Sun and his team, alongside Vanek's researchers, dedicated themselves to the study of the remnants of the shadow, seeking to unlock the secrets of its existence and potential capabilities. The Dark Energy Conundrum. The research was complex and fraught with difficulties. The shadow's substance was unlike any material previously encountered. It absorbed all forms of energy directed at it, making it incredibly difficult to contain and study. The team had to develop entirely new containment procedures using a combination of Vanek's energy harmonics and human quantum field technologies. As they delved deeper, they discovered that the shadow could have been a sentient being, capable of independent thought and possibly malicious intent. The implications were alarming, suggesting that there could be more such entities out in the cosmos, potentially posing a threat to any energy-rich civilization they encountered. Diplomatic challenges. The revelation of such a potential threat had diplomatic repercussions. A council meeting was convened to discuss the findings and decide on a course of action. Some members proposed aggressive measures to locate and neutralize any possible threats preemptively. However, others, including Elena, argued for a more cautious approach, emphasizing exploration and understanding over confrontation. The debate was intense, with Xerax, now a staunch ally of Elena, supporting her call for caution. "We must not become the shadows we fear," he argued, using the newfound insights into the Vanek's philosophy of balance and harmony to bolster his point. New exploratory missions. The decision was ultimately made to send out exploratory missions to the regions of space surrounding the area where the Zelthori ship was found. These missions would be dual purpose: scientific exploration to understand the nature of dark energy life forms, and defensive scouting to prepare for any potential threats. The Artemis was once again at the forefront, equipped with the latest technologies to detect and study dark energy phenomena. The crew was a mix of human and Vanek scientists, with a few specially trained security teams, just in case. A quiet discovery. During one such mission, the Artemis crew detected anomalies similar to those caused by the shadow near a desolate moon. As they approached, they found traces of a dark energy residue, along with ruins of what appeared to be an ancient outpost, possibly Zelthori in origin. This discovery led to a significant breakthrough in understanding the shadow. The outpost contained ancient inscriptions that described the shadow as a guardian entity, created to protect something of immense value. The implications were clear. These entities were not inherently malevolent, but might have been corrupted or their purpose misunderstood over millennia. Reflections among ruins. Amid the ruins, Elena pondered the dual nature of fear and protection. How something created to guard could become a threat. Her thoughts were interrupted by a message from New Horizon. Another signal, similar to the one that had led them to the Zelthori ship, was detected, this time much closer to their home. A gathering storm. As the chapter closes, the Artemis prepares to return to New Horizon, while the implications of the discovery loom large over Elena and her crew. The universe had once again opened up new paths laden with unknowns, and the journey forward was as daunting as it was inevitable, an ominous return. As the Artemis made its way back to New Horizon, the crew was gripped by a palpable tension. The new signal, closer and potentially linked to the mysterious dark energy entities known as shadows, suggested that the threats they faced might be nearer and more imminent than previously believed. Preparations for defense upon arrival at New Horizon, Commander Elena Mirov convened an emergency session of the Interstellar Alliance Council. The discussion was fraught with urgency. The potential for a close encounter with another shadow, or something even more dangerous, necessitated a swift and robust response. The Council decided to establish a defense perimeter around New Horizon and neighboring systems. Both human and Vanix technologies were employed to create a sophisticated sensor network capable of detecting any dark energy fluctuations. Additionally, a series of defensive satellites equipped with energy dispersion cannons were deployed, designed to neutralize dark energy constructs without initiating them. The call from the shadows. As the preparations advanced, the source of the new signal was pinpointed to a nearby asteroid belt. A reconnaissance team led by Elena and including Dr. Liam Sun and several Vanix specialists was dispatched aboard the Artemis to investigate. Navigating through the dense asteroid field, the team encountered a derelict spacecraft, not unlike the Zelthori vessel they had previously found, but markedly older and of unknown origin. The ship was adrift among the asteroids, its hull scarred by impacts and the telltale signs of dark energy exposure. Aboard the derelict, inside the ancient ship, the air was thick with the dust of ages, and the darkness was pervasive. As they explored the shadowy corridors, Elena's team discovered that this vessel was a research ship, abandoned for reasons unknown. The onboard logs were mostly corrupted, but snippets of audio hinted at a crew overwhelmed by fear and paranoia, speaking of a curse brought about by their research into dark energy. The deepest part of the ship held a containment chamber, much like the one on the Zelthori ship, but here they found something different, a crystalline artifact pulsing with a soft, dark glow. Dr. Sun speculated that it was a containment device for dark energy, possibly a tool or a weapon, its purpose obscured by time. The Shadow's influence. While examining the artifact, the team experienced a sudden and intense wave of dread, an emotional echo amplified by the artifact's energy. Dr. Sun hypothesized that the artifact was not only a container but also a recorder of sorts, capturing the emotional and psychological states of its handlers. This discovery led to an ethical debate among the team. Should such potentially dangerous technology be studied, or was it safer to destroy it to prevent any further contamination or harm? Decisions under duress. The decision was made to bring the artifact back to New Horizon for containment and further study, under strict protocols. Meanwhile, the defense systems around New Horizon detected slight fluctuations in the dark energy field across the system, subtle signs that they might not be alone, and that the shadows might be closer than ever. A fragile peace. Back at New Horizon, with the artifact securely contained and the defense grid operational, a fragile peace settled over the colony. However, the presence of the artifact and the ongoing dark energy fluctuations served as a constant reminder of the unknown dangers lurking in the void. Elena ended the day on the observation deck, staring out into the deep space, where light and darkness danced in silent battle. She knew that the choices made today would shape the future, not just for New Horizon, but for all civilizations that might one day encounter the shadows.